God damn! Dehancer Pro is something that you guys should all be using. It's a really great film emulation plugin for Premiere Pro, After Effects, Davinci Resolve, Final Cut for video, and then for the photo side of things, you got Lightroom, Photoshop, Capture One, and Affinity Photo. The main purpose of this video is to show you guys how to use Dehancer Pro inside of Davinci. Alright, here we are inside of Davinci Resolve. I've already graded a few of these. Now the video that you guys already saw on my channel a few weeks ago, that was graded inside of Premiere. This is what I was messing with earlier. I'm going to start all the way over to show you guys from scratch. This is how everything looks without my adjustments that I did. Everything looks fine. This is the log footage straight out of the FX30. Let's turn everything back on. So I want to delete Dehancer, and I'm going to keep this one on here because this is my adjustments that I made for the clip. And then this node right here, this is going to be my color space transform, my CST. So I'm going from Sony S Gamut 3 Cine. My input gamut is S-Log 3. Output is Rec 709. And the output gamma, I guess you could do Rec 709, but I'm new into DaVinci, so I've been watching a bunch of videos of how to set up my stuff to, you know, to get the best looking image. So a lot of people were saying to use Gamma 2.4. So we're going to use Gamma 2.4 and leave everything else the same. If there are any new DaVinci users in here, just know that I'm learning just like you. And just off the couple of videos that I watched, I've learned a lot. You just gotta lock in and apply yourself to what you're trying to learn. So we're gonna do Option S, and then we're gonna just drag Dehancer Pro onto our footage. So this is how it looks when you put that onto your node. We're gonna leave this at Rec 709. You do have the option, if you didn't do your CST, you could go on here. You can choose your camera. They did recently add the FX30. It wasn't on here a few weeks ago. So Sony FX30, and I did shoot 2500. Me personally, I would just add the extra node in here prior to Dehancer. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're inside Dehancer. I usually leave the input stuff as is. I'm gonna go straight into our film profile. So this is where a lot of stuff happens. So you can go in here, there's there's a huge selection of film profiles. You got Fuji C200, Cinestill 800T. Let's do, what's this? Looks all right. Fuji Color Superior. I actually like that. That looks good. So this is with it enabled, and this is with it disabled. That honestly could work as a look. You can be done. To be completely honest with you, that this could be your final product. Film compression. So this is going to be your highlight adjustments. Look at the window. It's going to adjust the highlights of, you know, certain parts of the image. Very micro adjustment. Again, that's what I'm saying. Dehancer is so good because you can make these micro adjustments and affect the overall image. At the end, it just looks so good. So film compression is going to be your highlights. This part right here, I like using Kodak 2383. This is it's going to be your print. just makes it look so good. And your analog range limiter, if I go to my my waveform, you can see how it just compresses the image a bit. This is with it disabled, enabled. And then you can make some adjustments, you know. On the left side, it's gonna be on the warmer side of things. Right side is gonna be cooler. I wanted this shot when I did my edit inside Premiere. It was on the cooler side of things, so we're gonna kind of try to match that. So on the cooler side, let's go about right there. You can change the exposure. Oh, that looks crazy. Your contrast, I'm gonna keep that at 0. And I like to boost my color density. Look at my skin and the fire extinguisher too. So this is at 0, this is at -100. So it's kind of adding some saturation. It just boosts up the colors, you know? It looks good. Kodak 2383 film print enabled, and this is with it disabled. Dang, that makes it look 10 times better. Color head. So this is where you can go in and, you know, tweak some of the tones of your color. When you click gain, it's gonna have everything move together. And when it's not clicked, it's gonna be your separate adjustments. So let's do, that's actually pretty perfect right there. Now you see when I make this adjustment, I lose the color of my skin, but that's why I had the adjustment right here, because I end up getting that back right here. You see how I got my skin tone back, and it just makes it get back to where it should be. So we're gonna leave this node enabled. So this is how it looks: disabled, enabled, and then we're gonna go back into Dehancer. So we were at the color head, and we can make those adjustments again. We can kind of bring this back up now. So you can see, bring this back up towards the red side. It's gonna bring that color back to my skin. And I think that looks good right there. And also within the color head, you can make those adjustments just within the shadows, midtones, and highlights. Let's do a -20. Boom, get that back. So this is how it looks enabled, disabled. And that looks good just right here by itself. But again, the Dehancer has all these adjustments where you can make all these micro adjustments and change everything little by little to get the overall image. And this looks really good. So I like how that looks. And just to say this, all of this stuff is subjective. There's no right or wrong way. There's a right way to do certain things. But when it comes to like your color grade, it's a form of art. Just how filmmaking is a form of art. There's no right or wrong way to do this stuff. It's subjective. I could want this to look how I want it to look now. Somebody else could want it to look a different way. You could want it to look completely different than what we had. So it's all subjective, man. I think for myself that this looks good. You might think it's trash. Somebody else might think it looks good too. I think it looks good, and that's all that matters. This is the look that I was going for, and this is what we're gonna do. So let's keep it pushing. All right, so color head enabled, color head disabled, and even then, this looks good by itself, but we're gonna go back and put that enabled. All right, so film grain, halation, bloom, this is like the cool parts of the plugin. So this is with the enable, and you can go in and select these different presets, or you can go and customize it how you want to. I like to have my film grain the size of it being 1, so you can see the difference. That looks crazy. But it just depends on what you're going for, you know? So I want it to be there, but I don't want it to be like super extra noticeable. Let's do about a 10. You can tell that there's some grain there. So this is without the grain. Y'all see like this shadow going back and forth? There's a bunch of fans inside where I was at. I was inside my apartment gym. There's a fan going back and forth. So that's what that is. And you can also go in and adjust the shadows, midtones, and highlights specifically for the grain. I don't think halation will look good for this scene, but I want to just show y'all how it looks. So you can see, you know, it adds that reddish glow around like mostly the highlighted areas. Somebody might want halation for this scene, but I don't want halation, so we're gonna disable halation. Bloom is gonna be similar to using Black Pro Mist. I did shoot with Black Pro Mist, so I already have my highlights already kind of softened. But the good thing with this is it enables you not to use like Black Pro Mist while you're shooting. So you can not shoot with it and then you can add it in post. So I think that's another good thing about Dehancer as well. It gives me the option that I didn't have before, where I can choose to not shoot with Black Pro Mist and add that in post later. That looks cool. I think I like that. It's subtle. Film damage is gonna be like the artifacts. You see the different artifacts going across. Film breath is gonna be, you can kind of see the colors are like shifting. Gate weave is gonna be, your film's gonna be like twitching. You can't really see it right there, but you see how it's twitching? It looks like how film will look. You can also go in here and customize this stuff. Same with the film breath. You can customize all this stuff too. But I don't want that on there. Same thing with the film damage. You can customize everything to how you want it to look and get it dialed in. This is how I grade with Dehancer Pro. I'm not gonna deep dive into this, but I will say that this is another scene that I shot, which I like a lot. This looks a lot different than what I had in Premiere. This looks cool. Also graded with Dehancer as well. Like the way this looks. So if I were to take Dehancer off, this is without Dehancer. It looks crazy. It looks nasty. Shit looks gross. I'm gonna show you how it looks with just, this is a Rec 709 conversion. Like I really fucked up this shot. I wanted it to be warmer, but not this fucking warm. I have my light, the 300X, at 28 or 2700 Kelvin. I think it's at 28. The light was at 2800 Kelvin. Dude, that's crazy. And then I think my temperature inside my camera was like 56 or 58. Bruh, trash. I suck. Bruh, that's trash, man. But that's why I had these extra nodes prior to make some adjustments. And then I did this. But I believe I made these adjustments after Dehancer. So this is how I looked in Dehancer. And then I made this. Boom, then you got this. I got my skin tone back. So yeah, I really messed up this whole shot. I could have used less nodes, I guess, if I would have got it right out of camera, but I was able to get it back to a decent, decent shot. Dehancer is really good, and you can make all these micro adjustments to overall get your image looking how you want it to look, rather than, like I said before, I would just get like a film grain overlay or like a film video overlay and just change the opacity of it inside Premiere. But with this, you have the option to make all these different adjustments, and it's really, really useful.